Okay, thank you very much, Andy, and good evening. I'm going to turn that camera off in just a second, one, so that everybody's computers can cope with the bandwidth, and I won't keep seeing my face, which reminds me how much I'm catching up with Andy Boswell in the hair loss stakes. Right, I've got to bring my presentation up, so just give me 2 ticks. I'm not familiar with this system. Although we've had a little practice, so hopefully this will all go swimmingly well. And you should be able to see my slides, team webinar training, and my name. Okay, so thanks again, Andy, for asking us to present and train on here tonight. What I want to talk about this evening is quite general, really. I want to tell you a little bit about our story, how we got to kind of where we are, things that we've learned in the business. I'm going to throw some tips at you as well, so it might be prudent to grab a pen and paper and share a little bit of our story too. And, you know, I think really success with Clean Easy and perhaps success with anything in life is it's what you learn and it's kind of what you become. Certainly with Clean Easy, when it was presented to us, we had a little bit of that feeling, I think, like most people do when they see the opportunity or it all looks too good to be true. But then you couldn't kind of disbelieve any of it because it was a company that we'd heard of. It was a company that was British. It had been around for a heck of a long time. So the only kind of questions was, well, could we do it too? And the more we looked at the business and the more we got involved in the business, we realized that it's bloody easy, really. It's simple. You know, there's nothing more straightforward than Clean Easy. You know, we simply stick catalogs out. We show people how to do the same. There's no selling required. You're not going to learn anything about how products work. It's about as easy as it gets. So here's the question. What is the difference between the people who ultimately succeed and go on to build a long-term residual income and those who maybe fall by the wayside? And what I'm going to share with you this evening is things we've kind of discovered that we believe is the reasons why people succeed and ultimately why we've got what we've got from the business. And you'll see on there a screenshot, and that is a cover of a set of 6 audio cassettes. Now, in the olden days, for you young ones, we used to have these little plastic boxes with little wheels inside and tape around them. And they were not as robust as CDs. And I jumped in the car with my sponsor one day and he got these cassettes going along, and the first thing I heard was an American accent, so I didn't really tune in. But then I started to listen to a couple of points this guy was making, and they really kind of rang home to me, and I'm going to share a couple of them with you this evening. Anyway, he let us borrow them, which was very kind. They were 60 odd pounds worth of cassettes. Couldn't afford that myself, so he let us borrow them. I told Adele about them, so she took one to work in her Fiat Panda. Was it the Fiat Panda? Or was it one of the minis? It was one of the old minis, not the posh one we've got now. It's one of the old minis. And she ejected the cassette, and as she pulled the cassette from the cassette player, all the ribbon and tape started to come out, so she killed one. So we had to replace those, obviously, which cost us £60. And for us, back end of 1996, 60 quid was a lot of money. It was a lot of money for us to find. Needless to say, I copied the damaged one, so at least we kept a set and then we gave them back. But you know what? That was the best £60 we ever spent. And I put that £60 investment down, our success down to that investment in that 60 quid. You know, fortunately with YouTube and everything that's available now, you can get this material for nothing, but don't devalue it because you can get it for free if you want to. And that's the set of cassettes there, The Art of Exceptional Living by Jim Rohn. Now, this is one of the first things that really kind of jumped out to me. And he said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'd had a few jobs at that point. I'm sure many of you have had jobs. And you know what? We work hard in our jobs because we have to. If you don't work hard in your job, you get the sack. It's as simple as that. You don't get any income. You know, and people work really hard in their jobs. They take pride in their careers. I know I took pride in my career. And it's amazing how loyal and how answerable to a boss, people will be far, far less loyal to themselves. And I find that kind of quite incredible, you know, when the ice and the snow is there and people are struggling to get to work because they really, really need to get to work. But then sometimes there's a little bit of spitting going on, a bit of rain, and people don't put their books out, you know. So it's amazing, you know, you've just kind of got to turn that around. And Jim just quite simply says, if you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. And that's what jobs pay. You know, we all know it, JOB, just over broke. They'll pay you just enough to keep you coming back, and generally we do just enough in our jobs to keep getting invited back, and that's that kind of state of play. But you know, if you want something a little bit more than that, it's about working hard on yourself. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune, and that's what we fancy the idea of doing. So if you want to make a fortune, turn that around. If you want to make a fortune, you've got to work a lot harder on yourself than you do on your job, and be no less honourable to yourself and to your own business. And I like the way Craig White puts it, you know, respect yourself enough to employ yourself. So one of the big steps in the business is getting to understand the fact that it is a business, and ultimately it's down to you, because the day-to-day operations of Clean Easy are about as simple as it could possibly be. I think John Hawkes said it, give a blind dog a note and he could do the business. And here's another thing, another one of the quotes that we picked up from this fantastic set of tapes, and it was that you don't get paid for the hour, you get paid for the value you bring to that hour. You know, why does McDonald's pay minimum wage? Because it's a minimum wage job. You know, why do solicitors earn hundreds of pounds an hour? Because the value they bring to the hour. And the question that was posed to us and that I posed to you is, can you become more valuable? And the answer to that is absolutely. Of course you can become more valuable. You can become more valuable because you can develop yourself. You can learn new skills, you can learn more skills, and you can develop yourself. And if you do that, then you can become successful in this business. So it's all about the value that you bring to the table. It really, really is. And it's something that, you know, you need to understand if you want to be a success story within Clean Easy. And another one I really, really like, and this is a biggie as far as self-development goes, and it's make sure what you do is the product of your own conclusion. Now, do you know what you can do at a 40-minute training on all these things alone? And you know, you've got to listen to the set of tapes or CDs or whatever these days if you want to kind of get the full version. But this is all about personal development. This is all about, you know, you taking responsibility for what you do, taking responsibility for what you act, not blaming others because you've reacted to their opinions or whatever. You know, make sure what you do is the product of your own conclusions. So take people's opinions, value people's opinions, but understand it's their opinions. But make your own conclusion. Take responsibility for the actions that you take. Now, one of the things that's really, really big in the business is social media. And I firmly believe that social media is one of the most powerful tools that we've ever had. It's enabling us to sponsor and get inquiries about our business for free. Over the years, we've spent fortunes with newspapers to get inquiries. So it's given us access to people that are looking for extra income. And it's also given us access to a whole new set of customers. So I really, really do believe that social media is a real powerful tool that we've all got at our disposal. But when you're using tools like this, you've always got to have at the back of your mind value. What value are you adding? And you know what? The people that get the most leads from social media are the people that interact and that add value when they're posting on social media. Not people who just put an advert, it's the people that add value. And the same with reference to products and selling on social media. The people getting the most orders are the ones adding value. they're giving recommendation, they're putting video on there, they're saying why their product's good, they're recommending it personally from the heart, not just plastering an advert about a product. So always think about adding value and using this fantastic tool how it's intended. Now, unfortunately, there's another side to social media as well. And when we joined the business, the telly was the enemy, you know, and that's what we used to say. We used to say, cut out the telly time, cut out the rubbish that you watch or listen to on the telly, and put some of that time into building your business. And you know what? Me and Adele, around our full-time jobs, probably put no more time into Clean Easy than the average person puts into watching the news, watching soap operas or whatever. And you know what? There's a good attitude shift. Stop watching the news, and it just changes you completely into a more positive person. And I'm trying not to go off on a tangent, but I'm gonna, because Andy said we're kind of living out here in Spain at the moment, and we've done this a number of times now. And the first time we did it, we did 9 months in a Spanish village, in a little Spanish apartment. We had no English telly, and do you know what? We had 9 months without the news. Do you know what? They were the happiest 9 months I think we've ever had, because we weren't exposing ourselves to negativity. We weren't exposing ourselves to all the bad things that were going on that we had no control over. They weren't really affecting us. But what most people do is they allow this kind of negative stuff to affect what they do, to affect their mood, and to affect how they get on. So social media, you know, can be a disadvantage if you don't know how to use it. And it does remind me of that saying from Jim Rohn: make sure what you do is the product of your own conclusion. Take the opinions, but ponder it and think about it and come up with your own conclusions and react accordingly. And here's a couple of tips, you know, when you're looking at social media, because people can get so distracted with it now. You know, the amount of times I get invited to play games, you know, just tells me, why are these people playing games? You know, they should be out there building their business. So, you know, people get distracted because of all the games, or they get roped into conversations that really have no use nor consequence. So next time you're reading a post, here's a couple of questions maybe that you could ask yourself. Is this a fact, for a start? Is this a fact? And is it going to inspire or help me to improve my business? So if you can't answer yes to that, ignore it, move on, do something useful. Is this going to make me a better person? Because you know what, if you want to succeed in Clean Easy, as with any other business, you know, it's about you. It's about you becoming a better person, adding more value and becoming worth more. Okay, remember, the day-to-day is dead easy. It's as simple as it gets. It really, really is. The variable between success and failure is the person that you're going to become that's going to be able to grow that business. And there it said, income rarely exceeds one's personal development. So, again, another quote, and I do love these quotes, and I'm full of them tonight with this training, because they've just added so much value to our lives because we've kind of lived by them. And we can have more than we've got because we can simply become more than we are. And anybody can, absolutely anybody can. You know, if you'd have met me in Adele when we joined Clean Easy at 24, you know, you wouldn't have thought these are people that are going to go on to become SEDs and qualify for all these events, etc., etc. I certainly wouldn't be somebody talking away to a computer hoping that there's 200 odd people listening. You know, we certainly wouldn't be the people standing at the front of rooms in front of hundreds and sometimes thousands of people talking, you know, because we've developed, we've become more than we were. And you know what? We've now got more than we had. And that's available to absolutely everybody. So I want to ask you guys, what do you focus on? You know, and sometimes people think they're being positive, but they're not. People think they're being constructive when they're actually being negative. And sometimes you've got to have a one-track positive mind. You really, really have. Because if you've not got a one-track positive mind, then you're wandering off track. And that's no good for anybody. So there's a few bits and bobs maybe that you can ask yourself, or what you focus on, or maybe what your team focus on, because this is all about, you know, developing yourself, but helping to develop other people too. And when people join the business, they come with a set of attitudes, you know, and I came with a set of attitudes, those attitudes that I picked up from the job, where people moan all the time. I don't know if you've ever had a job, you might still be in one, where people just moan all the time. I know when Adele used to go to work. She'd escape at lunchtime, go and do something useful, do some personal development, or put some shop ads out, because in the staff room, people were moaning all the time. And it's funny how 18 years later she hooks up with people from work, and what do they do? They're still moaning about work. God help us, if we're still in our jobs. So, it's all about educating your team as well as picking stuff up yourself. Anyway, so, negative, people talk about all the rainy days. I like the nice weather, else I wouldn't be here. I'm the first to admit it. But you know what? It doesn't rain all the time. You still put a coat on. There's no such thing as bad weather, just inappropriate clothing. So, do you focus on all the rainy days, or do you focus on the sunny days? How about all the days you go out and get a tan? How about all the days you can stick your shorts and your t-shirt on, and everybody next week thinks you've been on holiday? I'd rather be outside doing something than be stuck in an office, or stuck in a room working with people that you really can't get on with, working for a boss that you can't stand, and that's what most people do for 40 odd hours a week, for 48 weeks a year, for 45 years, working with people that they'd rather not spend time with. And that's one of the things we really love about the business. It gives us the opportunity to work spending time with the people that we love and the people that we do get along with and enjoy spending time with. Do you focus on the catalogs that don't produce orders, or do you focus on the new customers? And this is a biggie. We start now with 250 catalogs. It's a stone cold fact that the majority of those catalogs won't even get looked at. The majority of those catalogs won't have orders, but a few will. And it's getting people to focus on the new customers that they're collecting every time they go out. And just by doing some simple multiplication with a new distributor, even if they only picked up 10, 15 new customers per week, times that by 48, 50 weeks of the year, and look how many customers that they've got. That's a massive customer base, and show them what they'd earn off average returns from customer bases. So it's really, really important to get people to focus on the positives. It really is. Do you talk about the people who aren't joining? Do you know what? I ring some team members and they tell me about all the people that haven't joined, and I ring other team members and they tell me about the people that have joined. Where's the future? The future's with the people that are joining and the people that are building the business. Let's focus on them rather than ones that aren't joining. Fine to ask yourself the question, why aren't they joining? Do you need some help? Do you need some coaching? But ultimately, it's about focus as well. And you know what? Focus on the positive. Funnily enough, you might find more people will join you, because people will want to be around positive people. What about distributors not ordering? Do you know what? I used to get my list, my GSA, and look down it and get disappointed at the zeros. And that was because I hadn't developed enough yet, until one of my mentors said to me, ignore the zeros, look at the ones that are ordering. Look at the one that should say distributors ordering. So forget the not on the positive column there. That's an error. But do you focus on the ones that are ordering? And that's what we started to do, because the ones that are ordering are the ones that deserve the help, not necessarily the ones that want the help. And that's quite key. The GSA, your group sales analysis, really, really does tell you a lot. Distributors who aren't at events. Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating when you've got distributors that aren't at the event, especially when the training is really appropriate for that person and could really help them right now. But you know what? People have to be able to help themselves. So focus on the ones that are at events. Do you know what? I've been to training sessions and open evenings, and there's been people that have been standing outside looking for the people that's supposed to be coming, when they've got people that have turned up sitting in the room on their own, not having anybody to talk to. So focus on the ones that are there. If you've got somebody at that event, make them feel special. Make them feel part of the meeting. Get involved with them. Have some quality time with them. And if the others turn up, great. Do the same. But don't get hung up on the ones that aren't there and feel disappointed. Focus on the ones that are. Distributors moaning. Maybe you've had some of these in the past. Focus on the ones that are excited. Again, that's where your future is, and that's where your time needs to be spent. Are you focusing on the people that are leaving, or are you focusing on the ones that are joining? Do you know, it really is all about your focus, and you can quite easily get disappointed with who's gone. Do you know what? If they've gone, they've gone. There's nothing you can do about that. They just haven't developed enough, or they just haven't seen it. And that's my true belief, is people that go just simply haven't understood what they've got hold of. People focus that they haven't even got any distributors. Maybe you're fairly new. Maybe you've only just got up and running. But just find out what you need to do and go and get some. It's as simple as that. There's so many ways to find people. And you know what? You just don't know who is around the corner. And you know what? It's quite funny how some of our distributors that have been negative and have maybe focused on some of these negatives that you can see listed there tonight, some of them have actually led us to the people that are positive, have focused on the ones on the right, and have actually led us to the people that have ultimately been working with for many, many years and built really good teams with. So it really is all about your focus. So why do people fail? Here's some reasons, and this really is my firm belief. They just don't realize what they've got hold of. And people will make every excuse under the sun. Favorite one is, I haven't got the time. Well, if they understood what they got hold of, do you think they'd find the time? Of course they would. So people just don't realize ultimately what they've got hold of. They focus on those negatives, until the negatives win. And perhaps they fail to attend the trainings. And here's a key point. Trainings are so more readily available now than they've ever been. Andy, I think, has really kind of paved the way with these webinars and deservedly. Apart from all the social selling stuff that Andy's done, deservedly got the Distributor of the Year, but paved the way with these webinars. We really have made this business a local business for everybody. And as Andy said, I spend half the year in Spain, half the year in the UK at the moment, and it doesn't affect our business in the slightest. We do everything effectively here, and that's down to the fact that we can do webinars, we can do Skype. There's no restriction on communication at all. So, it really is, our job to get as many people to come and attend as much stuff as possible, because if you don't get people to attend events, whether they be online or whether they be at venues, people haven't got a chance, to realize what they've got hold of. And if we hadn't gone to events, firstly, we wouldn't have listened to that set of tapes. We wouldn't have heard these quotes repeated at the front of the room. We wouldn't have met people like us that gave us every belief that we could do it too. So meetings are just so key. And without them, people will focus on the negatives. They will focus on, the weather and results from retails and that kind of stuff. And ultimately, chances are they might not follow the system either. And I've said it and I'll say it again, that it isn't anything easier than Clean Easy. It amazes me how people, go to other networks thinking the grass is greener, but you know what? It still has to be mowed. And it's harder. Nobody ever comes back saying how much they're doing far better than they were in Clean Easy, because most of the networks, you've got to learn products, you've got to sell products, you've got to buy the blooming stuff in advance in the majority of cases. It doesn't get any easier than Clean Easy, but you do have to follow the all-important system. Or they simply don't invest the time and effort. And really all these points just boil back down to the first point. They don't realise what they've got hold of. If they knew what they got hold of, they wouldn't be focused on the negatives. If they knew what they got hold of, they'd be coming to every event they possibly could. If they knew what they got hold of, they'd be following the system to the letter, and they'd be investing whatever it took in time and effort. And as soon as we realise what we got hold of, because of the time that our sponsor spent with us, because of the personal development material that we listened to, because of the meetings that we went to, we did whatever it took. And once we realised what we got hold of, nobody ever was going to take the business away from us. But you know what? Some people, they want the fire first and then they're prepared to put the wood in. But you've got to put that time and effort in first. We all join this business and we see the big earners, we see the residual income, we see the potential with it. But you know what? There's only a few that really understand what it takes to get there. You don't get there by luck. You've got to put the hours in, you've got to put the effort in, and you've got to put it in abundance if you want to get abundance back later on. And here's one of my favourite quotes. This wasn't actually from that set of quotes from Jim Rohn. This was actually shared to me by a very experienced networker who joined our business many years ago, and I really like this one. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Do you know what? One of the biggest things that holds people back, and do pick up on this one, the biggest things that holds people back in their business, in their lives, is blame. Pointing the finger at somebody else instead of taking the responsibility to say, how could I have reacted differently? Maybe a circumstance is beyond your control, but your reaction is always under your control. So some things you just can't change. Accept it, get on with it. Some things you can change. Have the courage to change those things, but do have the wisdom to know the difference between the two. So most people in life, and unfortunately Clean Easy, will just be spectators. So we're going to have a bit of fun now, and maybe you can chuckle along. I don't know if the chat's open. I can't see it on my screen. Or, maybe comment if you've ever had any of these. But most people will be spectators that come into your business. And these are the kind of people that you get. And I did have a full head of hair when I joined Clean Easy, and whether the business had put down to balding, I really don't know. But sometimes I felt like pulling my hair out, because we sponsor people and they'd just be liars. Sounds quite a harsh word, but that's the stone cold fact. They were liars. People would tell you they're doing stuff that it was clear that they weren't. But this, amazes me. This is what people do in their jobs. Do they lie to their boss? Do they try and make out they're doing something that they're absolutely not? Well, clearly they must. And people would tell us they got orders and then they'd never appear. And this was often people that we knew. Very, very bizarre. But these are the people that will attract, and they'll always be a spectator of life. And then you'll get the know-it-alls, the ones that just don't want to listen, the ones that are speaking when they should be listening, the ones that want to change the slips, the ones that want to change this, that, and the other, and don't want to follow the system. These are the know-it-alls, and you're going to get them. And if you've got some people in your team, don't put their names in the chat. Just give them some training and help them along the way. You're going to get some tourists. These are the people that join your business, have a look around, and then bugger off again. So you're going to get them. These are just part of the spectators. You're going to get the amagunners, the people that come to the meetings, and you think they're going to do well, but they never actually really do a lot. They say, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, and they never get around to doing anything. They often talk a good talk, but they don't walk the walk. And you're going to get some hypochondriacs. They're always ill. You phone them up, oh, I'm going to start next week, I've been ill this week. And then you ring them up next week and say, oh, yeah, the kids have been ill and my husband's been ill, and there's always somebody ill, or there's always something wrong with them. There's nothing you can do about that. And then you're going to get some of the decorators. I love these ones. These are the ones that, I'm just decorating the office and then we're going to get up and running. I'm just sorting out this at the house and getting all organised, and then we're going to get started. I've just had a new filing cabinet. As soon as I get it organised, I'm going to get started. We had a real cracking one. It really does make me laugh. I'll never forget it. We moved into our first home not long after joining the business. I'd acquired some old office furniture, and I wanted some new stuff. And I just put out to the team that I've got a desk and I've got a little filing cabinet. If anybody wanted them, they could have them. And a new couple had just started. They drove all the way up from I think it was Shropshire, took all this stuff. They were dead excited to get all this stuff. They were dead excited to start their business. As soon as their office was ready, they were going to get started. And guess what? We never heard from them again. So some people will always be getting ready, but they'll never actually do anything. And you're going to get some people with broken sat navs. They just go missing. They're just gone. You can't get hold of them. They're all keen, and the next minute they're lost. They're in the wilderness somewhere. You never hear from them. The phone doesn't work. I don't know what that's all about, but these are the spectators of your business. And then you're going to get the ones with viruses. Oh, I just need to sort my computer out. Yeah, my computer's had a virus. I'm going to get it sorted. Then I'll start. And then the phone doesn't work. Yeah, I've had problems with my phone. That's why you haven't been able to get hold of me. And then they sort that out and the computer goes down again. Do you know what? These are just excuses. Maybe these people haven't realized what they've got hold of. Do your best, but understand, when to know the difference. Yeah. And you're going to get the round two. They'll always be busy. It's funnily enough, they responded to our job advert that says, have you got 10 to 15 hours a week? And we sponsor them. And have you got 10 to 15 hours a week? Yeah, we do a plan. We're 10 to 15 hours a week. And then suddenly they're just so busy. They've been so busy, they haven't been able to start. Do you know what? They haven't understood what they've got hold of, and everything else has taken priority. They procrastinated, they put it off, And as you know, procrastination really is the thief of time. And then you get these junkies, okay? These aren't the drug takers, these are the network junkies that jump from one opportunity to another, trying to find the one that's going to build itself. Well, when somebody finds something that builds itself, please let me know, because I've never ever seen one or heard of one. But people will be out there looking for something that's just going to do it for itself. So what you're looking for aren't spectators, you're looking for players. But you know what? You might have to go through a few spectators to find your players, the people that want to get on the field, the people that want to get stuck in and build a business. And I'm going to give you some clues here of how to identify them. And the top three are in ranking order, okay? Events, consistent retail, and lead creation. Who's coming to the events? Do you know what? If somebody's coming to the events, even if their retail isn't consistent and their lead creation isn't exactly existent, if they're coming to the events, they're in with a chance, because they're getting the information, they're mixing with the right people, they're learning the system. The events are key. If they come to the events and they come regularly and you spend time with them, guess what? They'll start to do consistent retailing, because they'll learn how to retail and they'll learn how important retail is. And they'll start generating leads because they'll get the skills to turn those leads into new distributors. So those are in ranking order, and these are the people that you want to be spending your time with. These are the people that you want to be working with. And then you've got all the others. You've got the personal development. Well, in a way, they're going to pick up personal development at the events, which is why that's ranking highest. So the people that you've got coming to the events that are consistent with retail, consistent with lead generation, these are your players. They'll also be into personal development. When you ring them, you'll be able to get hold of them. They won't have lost their phone. They'll have their goals set, really, really key. They'll have something to go for. You'll know what they're going for, and you'll be helping them along the way. Not only that, they'll have an activity plan, how they're going to get there. They'll know what they're doing each day of the week, and they'll be helping you out at the events. They won't just be turning up and taking from the event. They'll be contributing and helping out. They'll be teachable. They'll listen to what you're saying, and they'll follow the all-important system. These are the people that you're looking for. But you know what? Some of those spectators could well turn into these people or lead you to these people. So again, one of my favorite quotes from Jackie White is value everyone, but rely on no one. So here's some tips for your success. Be the most positive person you know. I can't stress that enough, and I hope you've picked that up from tonight's training. It really is all about you. Clean Easy works. It's people that don't. You know that there's far, far too much success within the business from ordinary people, from ordinary walks of life, you know, like me and Adele, that had never heard of it, never done anything like this before, but have learned the ropes and that have grown within the business. But you've got to be positive. You really, really have. You've got to make that decision that you're going to succeed, and just look around you. There's enough evidence there that anybody can if they make the decision to do. And here's something, again, that we picked up in the early days, not particularly from Jim Rohn, but we were told, be prepared to do what unsuccessful people are not prepared to do. These are the kind of times when there's a line in the sand and you've got to cross that line. And that line could be, you know, it's chucking it down with the rain. Do I go out or don't I go out? Well, I don't really want to go out, but what do successful people do? Well, they go out anyway. When you're not in the mood to pick up the phone and ring prospects, what do successful people do? Ask yourself that question. Just stop yourself and think, well, unsuccessful people would cop out. They'd stick the kettle on, they'd stick the telly on, I don't know, go on Candy Crush or whatever it is. You know, successful people will get over it and make those calls. Maybe it's coaching calls, whatever it is. But if you come to a point where you're thinking to yourself, I don't really feel like this, ask yourself that question. What would a successful person do in this situation? Snap out of it and crack on and build your business. You need to be consistent. Unless your activity is routine, your business will be all over the place. And you know what? You know, in our first year, we were a little bit all over the place, but we worked hard. We were really excited. We were committed. And we started to grow our gold business, as Andy explained at the beginning, you know, and we were still wobbling all over the place for our second year, but you know, we really built our SED business in our third, fourth and fifth year. And those years, we knuckled down and we were absolutely regimented and consistent with our activity. And you know what? If you're consistent for as long as it takes, it's inevitable. You will be successful. You cannot not. The averages will always work to your favor if you do something for long enough. And what's 3 years out of a lifetime to build a residual income that's paid us for about the last 13? It's nothing. It really isn't. I'm not saying we haven't done anything since then, but it was that real regimented, consistent effort for a sustainable period of time that built the backbone to our business. And guys, it does get easier with time. The longer you're in the business, the easier it gets. But, you know, nobody's ever an expert. We're always learning. You know, we're always picking up stuff when we go to events ourselves, but it does get easier with time. So guys, join Clean Easy and see the world. This was something that one of the corporate managers said to us years ago when we were pinching ourselves on one of the conferences. And you know what? That's what we've done, you know, and that's what you can do. You know, most people only ever see these places on TV or in books, or, you know, seeing other people go to these hotels, you know, on some of these reality programs on the television. But literally, we've been able to see the world free of charge, 5-star in luxury with Clean Easy. Here's just a list, and we counted up, and it's 13 on there, I think. 14 when we qualify for India. I was told off earlier for saying it. When we qualify for India, it will be 14 places that we wouldn't have chose to go on holidays. There's probably about 2 or 3 on there that we would have chosen to visit, but the others we wouldn't have done. You know, we would never have seen these places without Clean Easy. And you know what? There's no such thing as a bad conference. There really, really isn't, because wherever you go in 5-star. And if you're anything like me, you like food, then, you know, there's always plenty good food to have. And as I said earlier, you know, this is our house in the UK. Do you know what? When we started Clean Easy, we hadn't even got a house. I was lodging with a friend. Adele was at home with her mum and dad. One of the reasons for joining was we were saving up for our first house. We moved into this house 5 years after starting the business, from having no house to 5 years down the line we were SED and we bought this house. But here's a secret. Here's a secret, guys. We were looking at houses like this when we were in no position to buy them. Absolutely no position to buy them. I remember looking around a show home with Adele's mum and dad, and they were kind of looking at them, each other, and looking at us thinking, why are you looking at this? This is way out of your league. And you know what? We were goal setting. We were feeding our dreams because we knew one day that we'd have them, because we'd got a vehicle. We'd got a vehicle in Clean Easy to have whatever it was that we wanted. And you guys have got exactly the same vehicle today. We took a car from the company. No, we didn't nick it. When I say took it, we were awarded it just for building our business. That was absolutely magical. It was like winning a game show. It really, really was. And we ran that for a couple of years. And as I say, we thrashed it, crashed it, sold it, and bought a Mini. This is the villa in Spain that we live in at the moment. This is where we are now. You know, it's just absolutely fantastic, you know, to be able to live here. We've got a pool in the back that somebody else looks after. We've got lovely gardens that somebody else looks after. We just took a bit of money into the kitty to pay for that. And it's just a great place to bring up the family. This is my office. You know, this is how complicated an office has to be. A computer, a desk, chair, phone, modem. That's really pretty much all you need to build your business. And a little picture above the computer there. Think happy, be positive, you know, you can't go wrong. And then we've got a clock on the left there, as you can see, to let us know when we need to go to the beach. And that's where we were, nothing elaborate, and that's all you need, and that's where our business runs. So guys, you know, some people make things happen, some people watch things happen, and some people just wonder what happened. You know, which one are you going to be? You know, we're in a cracking time at the moment. But you know what? If you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never get anything to done. You know, draw a line in the sand now. Make a decision to crack on with your business. You know, I really do believe it's the best time to be in Clean Easy. We've got the phenomenon, whatever we say that word, of online selling. The incentives just get better and better and better. We've got fantastic catalogues that just get better and better and better. And you know what? There's been a couple of pivotal things for me. You know, we've been around the business for 18 years. We've seen lots of different owners. We've seen lots of different corporate staff come on board. We were so excited when Lisa Burke was reappointed as MD, because it was just so cool to have somebody who understands the networking side of the business, who understands both sides of the camp, having built her own business. And we're so lucky to have Lisa and Michael behind us at the helm of the business, taking us into this new era. You know, since Lisa's joined, we've never been so excited to have this company CVSL own us. You know, we've always been owned by these home shopping companies, and as great as they've been, they've never really understood, you know, our business. So to be owned now by a network marketing company who are in other countries, you know, our future has never, ever, ever been in better hands. Some of you know, may know, we did a little trial out in Spain for Clean Easy some years ago, and the way it was received was absolutely phenomenal. And we know with CVSL, we're going to be able to do that not just in Spain, but in many, many other countries. And it will be network driven. It will be driven by a company that's a network focused company. You know, our products just sell themselves. You know, we don't need any elaborate home shopping business to try and make us it's purely retail. We're a network marketing business, and that means every single one of you have a fantastic opportunity to build a residual income. And guys, trust me, there is no income like residual income. I've worked long hours for crap pay for many years in the hospitality industry. I far prefer working long hours for no pay for a small amount of time, because that's given us the opportunity to still work part-time hours now, but for more income than we've ever earned working for somebody else. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope that's added some value to you this evening, that you can go away and maybe share with your teams, inspire your teams to take advantage of what's on offer. I'm just going to attempt to turn the slideshow off now and hand you back to Andy. So thanks very much for inviting me, and I wish you all success in the future.